if you're wanting to get started in data science, AI, software engineering, and all those buzzwords, if you think it's really interesting, I wanted to make a video just to discuss kind of the career transitioners, or maybe the people that are in college exploring this as a potential career path. I've been working in the data science, mathematics, computer science field, and learning it for about 10 years. I've definitely been writing code for about 10 years or so. And, I've always just loved doing it. And I don't think it's something that you can just, shift into at a later stage in life necessarily. I think you have to enjoy it to really make a solid career out of it. And obviously, in the current economy, things have changed. It's not as easy as it once was to find a job as a data engineer, as a data scientist, or even as a software engineer, right? So there really are a lot more software engineer jobs than data science jobs, and some might say that the data science AI jobs are more coveted, and that's what people want to work on. And there absolutely are companies hiring, but I do think that if you're just dipping your toes in, you should maybe just be mindful of how much effort and knowledge it really takes to become good at it. And I don't want to be all doom and gloom, obviously, but I do want to maybe discuss some things you can do as someone who's getting into that field. So, firstly, I would say, is a college degree necessary to get into data science or AI or ML engineering or whatever you want to call it? I think no. I think it's not a deal breaker if you don't have a degree or if you have a non-technical degree. But I also don't want to, I also think that it's a huge advantage to have a solid base in math, stats, just general logic as well. I think a lot of these cognitive biases and things that will come up in data science, these are things that you're trained for with a technical undergraduate degree. So I think they are definitely fundamental. I think you should, if you're going into college now, you should pick a STEM major like engineering, physics, math, computer science. Even I think some business classes are really good. But what I would say is gravitate towards what you like, obviously. And if you want a career in data science, know that I think the best data scientists are the ones that are well-rounded. So make sure to take, obviously, the STEM courses, statistics, if there's a data science course, but also business courses. Also learn how to write properly and how to consider, doing research and how to collect different papers and understand information and how to communicate that back to stakeholders, because that's a lot of what you're going to be doing. So in my rambling, I kind of forgot where I was, but if you're getting started, definitely be mindful that you have a huge advantage having a technical background. So that's first. Second, if you're somewhere halfway into the college program or you've been learning data science on the side for a while, the number one thing you can do is display competence. So no amount of credentialism is going to save you. I think having a really solid portfolio with projects that you are super passionate about and can talk about for hours is what's going to save you if you don't have, those top-notch credentials or the job experience. Because with projects, you're basically doing free work for yourself, and you can almost think of it as, you're almost self-employed, because some of those projects can turn into, money-making opportunities if you can bring them to fruition. And I think that's not feasible, especially when you're getting started, but you can view it like that. And that, I think, makes you more accountable, and it increases the stakes. So let's say, you're not getting any internships, you're not getting any job offers. What you need to do is figure out 1 to 2 big projects that will make anybody say, wow, that guy's really smart. and then you just need to sort of sit in a room and figure it out. Obviously, that process of figuring out how to build those applications, build that custom model, wire together different frameworks, that's going to be valuable in and of itself. It's going to expedite your learning process. But you also need to market it. You need to take the final step of, take the ideation of those one or two, three different projects. You need to work through them and learn the different components, whether that's front end or that's, scikit-learn or that's Tableau. Whatever it might be, you need to figure that out on your own. A lot of being a data scientist is being able to learn new things as they come up, and not, going to your manager and asking them to solve it. So you need to have that can-do attitude and build it, but also kind of display it and market it to the rest of the world so that they can really understand what's going on. So that actually is the final piece of the puzzle, which is becoming a good communicator and understanding how business works. So the best is if you can come up with these projects that you're interested in and you can transform them into a business context or some kind of research context that a non-technical stakeholder can see insights into. So to give you an example, I was interviewing at a company which I later worked at that was doing credit card lending. And after the first interview, I was like, wow, I actually like this company. I want to learn more about this credit-related data science. So I found a data set and I found some stuff on Kaggle, and I said, well, I'm just going to build my own, underwriting models that are super simple, and they will obviously not be used by this company, but I want to act like I basically know about this stuff. So I made this Jupyter notebook with all these nice results, and I just posted on my portfolio. Lo and behold, the second interviewer ended up looking at my portfolio just in time for when that was posted. And they not only saw my code and my thought process, but also they saw that I actually had insight into, default rates, into credit scores and the different binning and all this other stuff. So they now were able to say, this guy knows my language, right? So that's really what you want to attain. And that's a little bit about the portfolio stuff. So we've talked about education background, a little bit about the portfolio stuff. And I think the final thing, what I would suggest is just almost not fake it till you make it, but imagine you are a data scientist or whatever position you want, and just start acting like it. So start reading papers that are relevant. Go to the bookstore and read books that a data scientist would read, and go to conferences and networking events that other data science people would go to, and act the part, basically. So I think there is a little element of mental there, and what I'm trying to get at is, obviously there's a lot of work and maneuvering in the job market, and you'll send out hundreds of applications and you'll not get anything. But I think at the end of the day, it's a human connection that often results in those job offers, whether that's a LinkedIn message that's actually honest and earnest and genuinely interested in that person you're trying to do outreach to, or it's going to a networking event or going to some university-related event or a conference and having a great conversation about topics that you're both interested in, and then giving them your card or adding them on LinkedIn. I think there is a networking aspect in any industry, and in the tech industry it's just as important. So hopefully this isn't too much of a ramble, but I wanted to get my thoughts out there, and I'll try to structure it a little bit more. What I would love to do is create a blueprint for you where it's basically giving you all the building blocks that you need to get started in the data science AI industries. It's a great time to get started because the new AI tooling can do so much. So you can really be someone with only 1 year of experience building tools that only experts could build a few years ago. So and the rest of the industry hasn't really caught up in terms of the wow factor. So you can really impress some non-technical stakeholders a lot easier today than you could have a few years ago. And I think obviously universities, say what you want, I still think they have a place, but you want to learn data science, there's tons of materials out there. Hopefully I'm going to try to collect them all so I can show you what the best tools are to learn. It's really, compared to software engineering, I actually think there's just so much more of a breadth of skills required to be a really good data scientist. You can be a great, specialist who's really good at, statistical modeling and so forth, but can you be the guy to talk to the stakeholder, come up with the proof of concept, wrap it all up, delegate some of the tasks, write the code, test the code, deploy the code, and deliver the business value end to end. Maybe that's overkill, but I think that's what makes a good data scientist, is someone who can come into an organization, they know all parts of that pipeline, and they've really just done that multiple times over and over again for different business contexts, different engineering contexts as well. I think that's what makes the rocket scientist, data scientist, and I think the breadth is the hard part here, because it's one thing to learn each of those skills, but it's really hard to balance them all and not burn out in the process. So hopefully we've got a bit of a template or tutorial coming for you soon. I'll be working on that while I work on my agency and some of the software products that I'm putting out. If you're interested in AI in general and you want to see more, hands-on technical stuff, that's most of what I put out. But I'm just experimenting with this, and if you like this, put a comment below. If you don't like it, don't put a comment below. But definitely follow along, and I really do love kind of putting my thoughts out there and trying to be more comfortable with that. So hopefully get iterate on some of this soon. Thank you.